This is MSC's Virtuosa. It's an absolute beast of a ship. It can hold over 6,000 passengers. It features some of the most jaw-dropping design choices at sea, is the set for Channel 5's television series Good Ship Murder, and structurally it will make your eyes pop. But here is the multi-million-pound question. Is a mega ship this size a dream holiday or a logistical nightmare? Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As our girls were away with the school for 3 nights, Lucy and I managed to find a cheeky 2-night cruise on MSC Virtuosa as a standard fare passenger. There was no exclusive Yacht Club perks, no specialty dining upgrades, just the raw, real, everyday experience. And today we are going to break down the good, the bad, and the downright chaotic, and let you know about what we actually thought about MSC Virtuosa. Before we begin, I just want to say that if you do find this video helpful, it would be great if you would consider clicking that subscribe button for more cruise content and maybe giving it a thumbs up, and that'll help this video grow. Thank you. So let's start with the Embarkation. Walking across from parking the car, by the time we reached the terminal building, we'd already spotted 4 hen parties, 1 stag party and 2 big birthday bashes, which, as this was a 2-night cruise over a UK bank holiday weekend, it was only to be expected. Despite how busy the terminal was, everything went rather smoothly, and we were on board within 20 minutes, so pretty good so far. Once on board, there were still a couple of things you need to do. First, if you haven't already done it, you'll need to activate your cruise card, and you can do this either at guest services or at an activation point. This is so that you can pay for all your items on board. Secondly is that safety drill. Gone are the days you had to line up by a lifeboat with your life jacket on and listen to the drill. Nowadays you can watch it on your TV in your cabin or on your phone, and then go to your muster station to get your card stamped saying that you've done it. So it was really easy and very straightforward. The Grande Atrium is the central lobby of the whole ship and spans decks 5, 6 and 7. The signature hallmark of the Atrium is, of course, the Swarovski crystal staircases. They are incredibly shiny, highly aesthetic, and to a lot of people the ultimate photo spot. Every step features thousands of hand-laid genuine Swarovski crystals, and with each individual step estimated to cost anywhere between $10,000 and $40,000 each, it probably makes them one of the most expensive design features at sea. At the base of the Atrium on Deck 5 are guest services, your go-to point if you have any problems or issues during your cruise. I gotta be honest, we didn't need to go there during our stay, so can't really comment on their attitudes or professionalism, but they did seem polite and on the ball, which is what you'd expect. In the centre of the Atrium are a couple of intertwining mirrors going all the way up to the ceiling, and a small sparkly stage offering an elegant evening vibe with live classical music, either with violinists, pianists or saxophonists. In terms of design and layout, the heart of the ship is the Galleria Virtuosa, a massive central indoor promenade spanning 2 tiers and runs almost the entire length of the ship on deck 6 and 7. This acts as the central hub for shopping, dining, bars and nighttime street-style parties, and features a 300-foot-long LED sky dome. But this is where the pros and cons clash. Because the Galleria is designed as the ship's central highway, you must walk through it to get anywhere. When an event is underway, the open-air concept design means the loud music completely dominates the space. If you're just trying to navigate back to your cabin or enjoy a quiet drink at an adjacent bar, you will find yourself physically wedged into a massive crowd. Being on a short cruise this time, we didn't get to experience too much of these parties ourselves. However, we did on Euribia, which is Virtuosa's sister ship, which is pretty much the same layout. Now let's talk about food. We didn't pay extra for specialty restaurants like Butcher's Cut or Ola. We stuck strictly to what was included in the cruise fare. You've only got to look online at the reviews to see how much MSC food gets criticised. So we're going to start by talking about the MSC Marketplace Buffet. This is the onboard buffet restaurant available for breakfast, lunch, dinner, afternoon snacks and late night snacks. On paper, it sounds incredible. They have an onboard mozzarella making station where they spin fresh cheese, and their pizza selection is genuinely exceptional. And I do think it is superior to the included pizzas found on other cruise lines. The restaurant is a double-sided 1,300-seat casual restaurant with an extensive range of different foods. But here's the reality. Despite that massive selection, we genuinely struggled to find something we actually liked. The variety is there, but the execution often felt a little hit or miss. The buffet also offers good operating hours compared to the main dining rooms, whose breakfast and lunch opening times were quite limited. This then created another problem, as at peak times it became so crowded it's almost unusable, as it felt like all 6,000 passengers came flocking to the buffet all at once. But here is a pro tip for when it gets crowded and to save your sanity. If you head towards the back of the buffet, there is like a hidden sanctuary that remains fairly quiet and largely uncrowded because most passengers either don't want to walk that far or they just didn't know it was there. It offers most of the same food as the main buffet because most of the food stations repeat at the back. There is also a sheltered outdoor terrace, which is great to sit and eat provided the weather's nice, of course. In the buffet you can also grab tea, coffee, as well as water and juice, with glasses and cups always available there. When it comes to the main dining rooms, there are 5 of them. We were in the Blue Danube on deck 5, and our sitting time was 9:30 PM, which for us was okay, because as we were on the last sitting, it meant we didn't feel rushed to finish because the crew didn't need to get ready for the next sitting. It was also not overly busy either. If you're not happy with your sitting time, then you can usually speak to either the maitre d' or whoever's in charge on the first night of your cruise, and they can usually help you to move for the remainder of your trip. We had a great little table for 2 right by a nice big porthole, as opposed to a standard seating table that can be very large, meaning being seated with another large group of strangers. The food was really good, contradicting a lot of the reviews we had seen online, and the service was excellent, so much better than our previous experience on MSC Virtuosa. The Minuetto dining room on deck 6 was the restaurant that was also open for breakfast and lunch, but as mentioned earlier, the times were a little bit restricted. Again, the food was great and it was so much less stressful than the marketplace buffet. Coming out of the Minuetto and heading towards the Atrium, there are 2 smaller main dining rooms, the Opera and the Symphony, which are identical to each other. The 5th included restaurant was Il Campo, up on deck 7, which also doubled up as a quiet arts and crafts area during the day. When it comes to speciality dining, I must admit we don't normally use it that much, and for this 2-night cruise we didn't at all, so I can't really comment on the food or the service on them, but let's go around and take a look at each one. Starting in the Galleria, we're heading to L'Atelier Bar and Art, which is a cosy little vibrant bar and lounge that leads into Indochine, serving French Vietnamese fusion food, and is separated by a bar with a small divider. So it's perfect to go there and relax with a drink either before or after your dinner. Although we didn't eat in here ourselves, the reviews were highly positive, with some describing it as the best specialty restaurant on the ship. If you did want to dine here, just make sure you book it as early as you can on your cruise, as it does get booked up rather quickly. Down a bit further in the Galleria you have Hola Tacos and Cantina, which is a specialty Mexican street food dining venue, offering both an a la carte menu and an all-you-can-eat option. Up on the upper level of the Galleria on deck 7, there's the Butcher's Cut, a high-end American-style steakhouse with an open kitchen. Kyoto Teppanyaki with theatrical iron griddle cooking experience counters. Kyoto Sushi Bar, a quiet a la carte sushi and sashimi bar overlooking the promenade. Like every other cruise ship out there, MSC Virtuosa has a fair amount of bars, 21 bars in fact. So starting right in the beating heart of the ship, back in the Galleria you have the Virtuosa Bar and Lounge. Perfect to sit back and watch the LED dome light shows overhead. With live music playing in the evening, it did get pretty busy and loud in there, especially with all the stag and hen parties on board. Moving on, we can't talk about Virtuosa bars without talking about him. This is the MSC Starship Club, home to Rob, the world's first humanoid robotic bartender at sea. You use a digital kiosk to customise your cocktail, choosing your spirits, mixers and garnishes, and Rob gets to work flipping shakers and even waving to the crowd. He actually speaks 8 different languages. When you order on the tablet, he'll respond in whatever language you choose. It wasn't working on the first day, but they did get him going eventually. Just to give you the heads up, although the Starship Club is a great novelty, it's not included in any standard MSC drinks package, so you will need to pay for these cocktails, which isn't cheap, but you do get to keep the futuristic souvenir glass. Maybe good to do it once just for the experience. If you want something a bit more down to earth, just head upstairs to Deck 7's Masters of the Sea. This is a good sized British style pub. The vibe in here is cosy, rustic and incredibly welcoming. They have an extensive selection of draft beers, craft brews and international bottles. Plus, late at night this turns into a great spot for live acoustic music. If beer isn't your thing and you're looking to dress up and embrace the glamour of cruising, walk over to the Champagne Bar. It overlooks the main atrium, meaning you get a front row view of the famous Swarovski crystal staircases. They serve everything from casual Prosecco to ultra premium vintage champagnes, accompanied by cold appetizers. Right down the promenade is L'Atelier Bar and Art, which we mentioned earlier in the video. This spot is heavily inspired by Parisian jazz lounges. It features a gallery of contemporary art and often hosts live jazz duos in the evening. When you want to escape the hustle and bustle of the lower decks, just take the elevator all the way up to Deck 18 to the Sky Lounge. This is an adults-only indoor panoramic lounge. During the day, it's a quiet, sun-drenched, air-conditioned sanctuary, perfect for reading a book with a view. At night, it then transforms into a sleek piano bar with a good cocktail menu. Moving on up to the top decks, the main outdoor swimming pool area is an absolute nightmare. The space is just simply inadequate for a ship with 6,000 plus passengers. You face massive queues at the bar and the fast food, deck chair hogging is severe, and if you aren't out there early, you aren't getting a spot. All this aside though, you've got to ask, when the weather's bad, where does everybody go? At the back, the Horizon Bar offers views of the ocean and has a fantastic amphitheatre style layout, but it too gets completely overcrowded and chaotic during the day. To answer my earlier question, if the weather does turn bad, you have the indoor pool area covered by a glass dome. It looks great with its bamboo style seating. It also has table tennis tables, foosball tables and jacuzzis, but it does suffer from all the same heavy overcrowding that occurs on the ship. Otherwise, this is a great all-weather space. The crowding issue now brings us to the entertainment. The main indoor theatre holds about 945 guests, but remember there could be over 6,000 passengers on board, and because of the limited seating capacity, you'll need to reserve your seats in advance. You can do this via the MSC For Me app or the digital touchscreens that are located around the ship. To MSC's credit, they do try to fix this by offering 3 staggered performances a night. The Broadway-style song and dance shows are meant to be pretty good. We only saw one show on our cruise, which was a late-night, adult-only comedy show. One comedian was very good, and the other, well, let's just say I don't think I laughed once. If you want an entertainment experience that's a bit more intimate, then you'll need to head to the back of the ship to the Carousel Lounge. This is a versatile secondary theatre and lounge and is empty most of the day and offers fantastic daytime views of the ship's wake with its floor-to-ceiling windows. It has specialised evening productions like acrobatic performances, live music and other entertainment shows. The stage layout also means you are incredibly close to the performers. On the whole, it's a bit of a shame that this fantastic area is largely underutilised during the day. And unlike the main theatre, entry to specific carousel shows costs an extra fee, such as the acrobatic show that has an additional charge but does include a free alcoholic or non-alcoholic drink. Now it's time to head up to Deck 19 for some serious outdoor fun. Welcome to the Savannah Aquapark. This is a really good sized water park and features a splash zone with water sprayers, a giant tipping bucket and 3 twisting water slides that slide out over the side of the ship. During this bank holiday weekend it did get pretty busy like everything else, so there were long queues waiting to go onto the slides. It was still a great place to cool off though. Right above the water park you'll find the Himalayan Bridge. This is a suspension ropes course that wraps around the back of the ship. You're safely harnessed in, but you're then walking across suspended planks and ropes 200 feet above the ocean. Best of all, both the Aquapark and the ropes course are completely free. However, you do need to sign a waiver before doing the activities. Don't do what I did, and that was queue up to go onto the high ropes only to find out at the front of the queue I needed a waiver. So I then had to go and queue up to sign my waiver form, then rejoin an even longer queue at the back at the high ropes again. When you need a break from the sun, then you can head indoors to either the Red Gem Casino on Deck 7 or the Sportsplex arcade area on Deck 16, as this is a gamer's paradise. The MSC Arcade features VR games, Formula 1 simulators, a 4D interactive cinema and a 2-lane full-scale bowling alley. Now I didn't get to play on these during this short trip, but I did on their sister ship MSC Euribia, and I've got to say it was great fun. These games however do cost extra. If your children or you are planning to spend a lot of time in here, then buy your fun pass before your cruise. It gives you bundled credits that make the simulators and bowling significantly cheaper than paying per ride. Also, you may want to block your child's pass from overspending, as you don't get notified once your credits has run out. It just keeps on going and gets added to your final bill at the end of your cruise. Down on Deck 7 is the Red Gem Casino. It's big, well laid out and features hundreds of slot machines and all the usual gaming tables. Whether you're a high roller or just want to risk a few quid on the slots, it has everything you'd expect to find in a casino. Right in the middle is a 360-degree sports-type bar with TVs playing sport all the way around, so a great space overall. If you need to burn off all those buffet calories, Virtuosa has many places for you to try. For sports lovers, the indoor Sportsplex, which is part of the arcade, is a really good size indoor sports hall and hosts different tournaments like football, basketball, tennis and volleyball. And for fitness enthusiasts, the MSC gym is another reasonable size, although maybe still on the small side to accommodate that 6,000 plus passengers. It does have all the usual treadmills, bikes, weights equipment, etc., all facing big panoramic windows. So working out on a treadmill while watching the sea view or the sun going down is a really nice way to exercise. If you are booking this ship, you need to understand exactly what it is. It is a visually striking megaship that offers good affordable value compared to its American competitors. You have to accept that with a 6,000 plus person capacity, public lounges are going to be busy. You have to tolerate a chaotic buffet experience and accept that with nice sunny days, the outside pool deck areas are going to be packed. If you go in with your eyes open, use the aft deck for breakfast and book your theatre shows early, you can have a fantastic time. But if you hate crowds and want a seamless, relaxed schedule, this giant might feel, well, a little bit too big to handle. Have you sailed on Virtuosa or another MSC megaship? Just let me know in the comments below how you got on. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more honest cruise reviews. Thanks for watching and happy cruising.